All right, we should be live. Welcome in, everybody. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button for me. TikTok, we're live over there as well. Hit the follow button and come over to the red platform. You know, the Mystery Project. That's the name of the channel right there. Come subscribe. And let's jump into this one, y'all. Baby Emmanuel Haro, dad speaks out in a new jailhouse interview. Oh, hell, what's he gonna say? Let's find out.
New details as investigators keep up their search for baby Emmanuel in the Inland Empire. This roughly 2 weeks after he was reported missing. Thanks again for joining us here on ABC 7 Hulu and wherever you stream. I'm David Ono.
And I'm Giovanna Latta. Now the baby's father is speaking out from his jail cell. Investigators claiming the baby died from child abuse, even though no remains have been found.
A search off Highway 60 turned up nothing. Inland Empire reporter Leticia Juarez has been following the case from the beginning and now joins us live. Leticia.
Well, David and Giovanna, Jake Haro is speaking publicly for the first time since his arrest last week in a jailhouse interview with the Southern California News Group. But in that interview, he would not say what part, if any, he played in his son's disappearance. The search for 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro continues as his parents Jake and Rebecca Haro sit in jail charged with his murder.
Baby Emmanuel was abused, victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries.
Yesterday, San Bernardino and Riverside County law enforcement briefed the public on the case. On the same day, Jake Haro gave a jailhouse interview to the Southern California News Group, denying Emmanuel was abused. He acknowledged the public's outrage, saying, "God is with us. The allegations are horrendous, so of course people are going to be riled up." But investigators say Emmanuel's August 14th abduction from a Yucaipa parking lot was fabricated.
There's a tremendous amount of evidence to suggest that the initial story posed was not the correct story.
Following their arrest, it appeared...
Of course it wasn't the correct story. When the investigators were like, no, none of this adds up. No. Security footage, no, none of it makes sense. That is crazy.
Investigators were closing in on Emmanuel's remains when Jake Haro accompanied deputies with cadaver dogs to a remote area off the 60 freeway just east of Moreno Valley. But that search yielded nothing.
So was that just him just trying to divert the attention as to where he really went?
Moses Castillo is a private investigator and a retired LAPD detective. He says without Emmanuel's body, prosecutors may face challenges.
One of the charges that I hope that they consider adding is child abuse causing death. But the reason why it's so important to have that charge is that without a body, you're not going to get a true cause of death or manner of death.
The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department is leading the investigation with Riverside County.
I hope they find that poor baby.
Their goal, justice for baby Emmanuel.
A no-body homicide is always difficult, but it's a little different when you're talking about an infant.
Now, both the Haros will be back in court next Thursday. They're being held on $1 million bail. Their arraignment is set for that Thursday, in which they'll be formally charged with those. They had to be postponed from Tuesday because they did not have an attorney yet. Reporting live here in Riverside, Leticia Juarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
What happened to the one dude? Because I remember the Jake, he had that one attorney, and he was going on all the things talking about, oh, you know, he's helping. He's helping. At least he's helping. Remember that? That is crazy. Here's Rebecca appears in court for her arraignment on Tuesday at the Riverside Hall of Justice. Let's see what's going on here.
New details have emerged in the suspected killing of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro in California's Inland Empire, as both of the infant's parents face charges of murder and lying to police. Authorities now argue that baby Emmanuel would be alive today if a California judge had done his job properly. The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused, a victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries, Riverside County District Attorney Michael Hestron told a throng of reporters on Wednesday. The tragic saga started 2 weeks ago on the evening of August 14th, when 41-year-old Rebecca Haro called 911 to report that as she was knocked unconscious by a strange man while changing her baby's diaper in a Big 5 parking lot in Yucaipa. Someone said, "Hola, I couldn't even turn. I don't remember nothing," Haro said in a desperate plea on local TV station Cal. "I'm begging you, please. If you know anything, I'm begging you, please bring him back," she said. It took police just a day to begin questioning the accounts of Rebecca Haro and the baby's father, 32-year-old Jake Haro. Following a review of surveillance footage and noting inconsistencies in the parents' statements, police said that foul play couldn't be ruled out. The couple then stopped talking to authorities, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department
That's the
previously
crazy
said.
part, too.
It soon emerged that Jake Haro had previously been convicted of child abuse.
We're not talking.
In 2018, Haro's infant daughter from a prior marriage was taken to a hospital suffering from broken bones, a brain hemorrhage, and a skull fracture. Haro pleaded guilty to willful child abuse in 2023, but the judge suspended his sentence, a decision that has now come under severe scrutiny. The girl is still bedridden today with permanent injuries as a result of the abuse, Hestron said. On Friday, both parents were arrested and authorities announced that baby Emmanuel was believed to be dead. Based on the evidence, investigators determined a kidnapping in Yucaipa did not occur. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department said, "It is believed Emmanuel is deceased and the search to recover his remains is ongoing." Jake Haro was then seen being led through a dusty Moreno Valley hillside in an orange jumpsuit in an apparent search for the baby's remains, which were not found. Jake and Rebecca Haro have now both been charged with murder with malice and making a false police report.
Right?
The case drew intense curiosity and speculation from true crime bloggers as stories emerged that Jake Haro allegedly confessed to a prison informant that he killed his son and disposed of his body in the trash, a claim that was dismissed by Hestron in Wednesday's press conference. This is what happens when you've got all these folks out there online and these keyboard warriors.
And y'all, if you want
get
to
a lot of
watch this
misinformation,
TikTok,
and what you just said is not true. Hestron responded to a reporter's question on the alleged jailhouse confession. "I'm giving you information about baby Emmanuel. I'm giving you information about the cases and the investigation, but what you just said did not happen." Authorities have not yet shared details on where, when, and how they suspect Emmanuel died. Investigators said on Wednesday that they have some ideas as to where Emmanuel's remains are as the search continues. Outside of the alleged abuse and killing of a baby boy by his own parents, much of the anger has been pointed at a perceived failure of the California justice system. "It was an outrageous error in judgment by this judge. I don't have any problem saying that," Hestron said. "If that judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today. That's a shame, and it's an outrage. And I hate to say that, but when our criminal justice system breaks down, I'm going to just call it like it is and tell you. It broke down."
That's true.
During Wednesday's press conference, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco found some hope amid the grim case. The public's overwhelming reaction 2 weeks ago on learning that his 7-month-old was in danger. The enormous anger that a child was not only originally thought to be kidnapped, but then presumably murdered. It warms my heart a little that there is compassion still out there. There is care about other people, the sheriff said. There is absolutely nothing worse than harming a baby. Jake and Rebecca Haro are next due in court on September 4th. Bail is set at $1 million.
Absolutely insane. Let's keep going.
So I've learned through sources that Jake Haro, baby Emmanuel's father, told police that he accidentally rolled over in bed. This is what sources are telling me, and accidentally killed baby Emmanuel, and then buried baby Emmanuel in a place so that he could go there to grieve him, which obviously made no sense. But when you think back to the weekend, Ashley, when
that is crazy,
and police were out searching with Jake Haro in the jumpsuit. They had him out there. Very unusual to see that right along the freeway there in that area. It lines up with the story from my sources that he had indicated, and he's had a couple of stories, which I'll get into, but with this story that he had indicated to police that he buried baby Emmanuel after accidentally killing him.
So the other question I have for you is the second story. The first story was he tells the police he's rolled over on the baby and buries the baby's body out on, near the highway. clearly leading to those pictures.
Yeah, that is insane.
But then there's a second version of Jake Haro speaking in jail. What did you learn about this?
Yeah, and this is very interesting. So sources tell me that there was something called a Perkins operation, which is not unusual in California.
Oh, yeah, and this is what they said. The district attorney said it didn't happen.
Yeah, and this is when either an undercover police officer or not a police officer, but an informant basically pretends to be an inmate in the jail to get information out of someone who is in custody. And I am told that there was a Perkins operation involving Jake Haro, and as a result of that operation, they got information, the detectives, that Jake Haro had killed baby Emmanuel. And had put, and it's awful to say, I mean, it's just awful, but had put baby Emmanuel into a trash can.
So I want to play something from the district attorney in this case, speaking to reporters earlier about the fact that they have a pretty strong idea of where...
Yeah, innocent rollover, why not confess as a lie? Margaret, I think that because of what he did before, what he was convicted of, there wouldn't be an innocent rollover. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I just feel like he'd be like, what? Oh, man.
Where they think baby Emmanuel is. Let's play that.
We have a pretty strong indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel.
And either way, he's lying. It seems like it to me, in my opinion. Lying through his teeth.
That investigation is ongoing at this time. The filing in this case reflects...
If he could do it to his daughter, and now she's permanently bedridden...
Our belief...
Unfortunately...
That baby Emmanuel was...
I don't think he just stopped.
Abused, victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries.
So two questions there. We have a strong indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are. How does...
Thanks, Virginia. Come on over. Y'all, come over to the red platform, the Mystery Project. Search it up. You'll find it. Click the link in the bio. Come straight to it. And if you're watching on that platform, make sure you hit the thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you're new. And do all of the things. I appreciate the love, y'all.
Does that square with this story that police say Jake Haro told to, the plant in the jail that I killed the baby and threw the baby in a trash can?
Dear God.
Yeah, I mean, look, they must have some other information, because when they're saying that there's been a history of abuse, whether it's information from neighbors or from, who knows, videos or phones or pictures or whatever, where they have now put together a timeline that baby Emmanuel was abused over time. But it's also interesting, Ashley, that at that press conference, the DA was specifically asked, did you get a confession out of Jake Haro? And he said no. And he almost seemed mad about it, that they were asking about it. And he said no, which would conflict, you would think, with my reporting. And I just want to tell you...
right? Yeah, that is weird.
I double, triple, quadruple checked. I stand by my reporting. I think we're down to semantics here. And in the legal world, a confession, there's a very, very strict definition of that. And I don't know what the DA's definition of confession is when it comes to what he would want it to be in a court of law, but I stand by my reporting when it comes to the Perkins operation and what resulted from that operation, Ashley.
It's hard to believe that they can make the statement.
Thanks for sharing the stream.
We believe that he was subject to abuse over time, and because of that abuse, he succumbed to his injuries. Does anybody know how they can say that, how they know, or how they can profess to know that this baby had been injured many times and thus died from all that?
Because history repeats itself.
That sort of collection of injuries?
And they probably have medical records on Emmanuel also. Probably showing some signs. Right? Potentially, I don't know. I mean, it's speculation, but it would seem to me that if he was already convicted of it before, that would continue to play out. Unfortunately, sadly, tragically. Salute from Quebec, Tabernacle, Quebec. Sacre Ma, that's far.
No, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. There may be more information that they were able to obtain from the operation in the jail that I just don't know about. Or like I said, it's possible that it seems like they've been hard at work, these investigators.
No, they didn't even get the vaccines or anything. Oh, really? Was that known?
I mean, behind the scenes, they may have gotten evidence, again, neighbors, pictures, you know, maybe there's medical records. I'm not sure, but they were very clear in their latest release that they believe that there's evidence of long-term abuse.
So now, if they're doing the Perkins operation on Jake Haro, did they do the same thing on Rebecca Haro in her jail cell?
Oh, someone asked the DA and he said he can't respond
Yes,
to that question.
That is what my sources say.
Maybe
that there was another Perkins operation for the mom, but a different outcome. I am told that she has stuck to the same story since the beginning. That there was a kidnapping. That her.
That's crazy that the mom is sticking to that story.
That her husband Jake Haro would never do anything wrong. That he was a good father, and she hasn't changed her story, from what I've been told.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, God, Chris Cuomo, you scared the hell out of me. That is nuts. Let's see if there's anything else new that's out. Anybody come out with anything yet? Doesn't look like there's much of... Doesn't look like there's anything new. I search it up, y'all. I try to find it. I try to stay on top of it when things are breaking. I've been going live like 3-4 times every day now, y'all. So if you're on the red platform, thanks. Make sure you hit the thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you're new. TikTok, thanks for the love. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Hit the follow button if you're new here. I'll be back on in a little bit. I'll see if I can find another any more updates or something, another story to talk about. So welcome in. All right, y'all. I'll be back. Don't worry.